I didn't leave because of an argument. There was no shouting, no harsh words. In fact, that's what makes this story hard to tell. I had lived in that house for years. I cooked the meals. I kept the home running. I watched the children grow. I stayed quiet when my feelings were hurt, believing that patience was love and silence was respect. Then one ordinary morning, something small happened. So small that no one else noticed. But in that moment, standing alone in the kitchen, I understood something that took my breath away. I realized I no longer had a place there. And when I finally packed my things and walked out, the truth didn't hit me right away. It hit me later, when no one called, when no one asked where I was. That was when I understood. I hadn't just been staying quiet. I had been disappearing.
It began subtly. The house was the same, yet not the same. My son and his family were kind, polite, attentive to my presence in ways that seemed normal. But slowly, I noticed doors closing just before I entered, conversations pausing and continuing once I left, plans being made without asking me, decisions being taken as if I were not there. At first, I convinced myself that this was normal, that I should not be too sensitive, that staying quiet was better than creating tension. After all, that was how I had always handled life: patiently, silently, selflessly. I believed it was love. I remember one afternoon particularly clearly. I had prepared dinner, folded clothes, tidied the house. My son sat at the kitchen table, reading his newspaper. His wife was nearby, talking softly on the phone. I placed the dishes on the table, careful not to interrupt. "Everything smells wonderful, Mom," he said without looking up. She hung up the call and smiled politely. That was it. That was the acknowledgement I received for hours of work. I smiled too, and the smile stuck to my face like a mask. Inside, I felt an emptiness I could not name. Weeks turned into months. I began to speak less. If I opened my mouth, I tried to say only the smallest things, the things that mattered least. I measured my words as carefully as I measured my movements, taking care not to intrude. I prepared their favorite meals, cleaned the house, helped with the children, yet still, I felt my place shrinking. My voice, my opinions, my needs all seemed to disappear. I thought that staying silent was the way to preserve peace, to show love. What I did not know was that silence, when unacknowledged, slowly becomes invisibility. There were moments when it hurt more than I could bear. One evening, I overheard her speak on the phone. "She means well, but sometimes it feels like she's always here," I heard her say. I froze. Always here. As if my presence had become a burden rather than a blessing. I held my breath, trying not to cry, trying not to move. And then I realized the truth. I had given so quietly that no one noticed me anymore. My giving, my patience, my love had faded into the background of their lives. It was no one's fault. It was mine.
Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. That night, I lay awake in my bedroom, staring at the ceiling. I thought of all the meals I had prepared, the nights I had stayed awake caring for everyone, the small sacrifices I had made that no one had ever thanked me for. And I realized I had been invisible for a long time, even when I thought I was needed, even when I believed love protected me. I could see it clearly now. Love does not protect you if it is misunderstood. Kindness does not preserve your place if no one acknowledges it. And so I made a quiet decision that would change everything. The next morning, I rose before anyone else, as always. I packed a small bag with my clothes and a few treasured things, careful to be silent. I folded the sheets and tidied the bedroom one last time. I did not leave notes. I did not announce my leaving. I did not want to create drama. My son would notice eventually. Perhaps he would understand. Perhaps he would not. That was not for me to decide. I walked to my car slowly, feeling the familiar weight of years of giving pressing against me, and drove away, not knowing what awaited me at the end of the road, only knowing that I needed to be seen, to be noticed. For the first time, I stayed with my sister at first. The nights were long, quiet, and lonely. I cried softly so no one would hear. I cooked for myself. I rested when I wanted. I sat in the sunlight and drank tea in peace. For the first time in years, I asked myself what I needed, what I wanted, not what my family wanted, not what my son wanted, not what the household needed. I was learning the truth. Kindness does not require self-erasure. Love does not demand invisibility. I began to breathe again. Slowly, I began to reclaim the space I had lost. I began to see myself as someone worth noticing, someone whose presence mattered simply because it existed. When my son came to visit, he apologized quietly. He said he had not realized how much my silence had cost me. I listened. I forgave him, but I did not go back. My life now is simple. It is peaceful. I still love my son. I always will, but I no longer disappear to prove it. I learned that love should warm you, not erase you. Kindness should never make you invisible. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is stay kind but stand visible. And that is how I finally found myself again.